Hi everyone. I'm Ang. I'm a practicing lawyer. This is the first video for our Legal Forum series. We have mentioned earlier about a series of videos called the Legal Forum. AXTNJI page will produce videos for the forum. We will focus in legal matter. So this is our first video. Thanks to all our producers. This video won't happen without them. Alright. Let's go to the main point. What do we want to discuss today? Our topic will be related to the hot news about Najib's stepson, whom is also Rosma's son, Riza, about the dismissal of his charges. A lot of people will ask what is DNAA? Because this is the judgment given to Najib's stepson. He was released by the court. All reports were saying the judge giving a judgment of DNAA. So now we will go into the topic. The first thing that we want to discuss. What is DNAA? Let me tell you now what is DNAA. The full term of DNAA is discharge not amounting to an acquittal. So from here, we are aware that he is being released, without actually being acquitted by the court. So what is acquittal? Acquittal means release without being found guilty. So if a person is being charged to the court under criminal law, he will face 3 consequences. First one is, the prosecutor won the case, then you are found guilty. Then we are guilty. The punishment would be jail term, fines, whipping, and social services. So the first situation is guilty. Found guilty, the court found you guilty for your offenses, so you will be sentenced to your punishment. If you confessed, it is called plead guilty, or short form PG. Even if you have confessed, you may face the same punishment. It depends on how the judge is making judgment. So these are the 3 consequences. This first scenario is guilty. Second would be what we have mentioned just now, about acquittal. So what is acquittal? Acquittal means release without being found guilty. It also means that you've been through the process of trial. Being found not guilty, innocent, that's why you are released. It is very clear that guilty means you're responsible for committing the crime. One is not guilty or acquittal, means innocent. So there is a situation in between. The third situation of what we call DNAA. Discharge not amounting to an acquittal. This is the situation what Riza is facing. He is DNAA. DNAA actually means, the court is dropping your case now. You don't have a case now, but you are not innocent either. Why it doesn't mean that you are innocent? It is because your case doesn't go through the trial process. It was halted before the whole trial process ends. It usually happened because the prosecutor withdrew the charges, which is our government attorney general. He withdrew the charges. If the charge has been dropped, it is no longer exists, of course the case is gone as well. But it doesn't mean that you are innocent. Because you didn't go through the trial process. That's the reason why DNAA exists. So Najib's stepson has 5 charges. But all 5 charges had now been retracted. What did we see from the news report? We knew there is a deal in between Riza and the Attorney General. We don't know what is the deal. The court didn't disclose, and the Attorney General dropped the charges because of this deal, since charges have not been through the entire trial process. We won't know whether Riza had committed the crime. We won't be able to know. That's why Riza are not given the status of acquittal. He is given DNAA instead. We need to be very clear about this. Riza had 5 charges. All 5 charges are dropped and given DNAA. What is he famous of? Everyone know about Leonardo DiCaprio. He is the main actor playing the role of Jack in Titanic. He acted in a movie called The Wolf of Wall Street. And Riza is the boss of that movie. So Riza is being charged with money laundering in Malaysia. He was accused in siphoning funds from 1MDB in the US to produce movies and buy famous paintings. So his condition is related to money laundering. We talked about the situation of DNAA, acquittal, and guilty. We need to mention the case of Lim Guan Eng. A lot of people don't understand about the case of Lim Guan Eng. We have a new government now. The corruption case of Lim Guan Eng, where he bought a property below market price. Because he bought it very cheap, he was being charged of corruption. We knew the case was terminated in the middle of trial. So will Lim Guan Eng's case being recharged? The answer is no. Why is it so? Because his case is not DNAA. DNAA, like what I said earlier, the case was withdrawn. So the Attorney General can file new charges anytime. So Riza's situation is DNAA. The Attorney General can always file new charges, but Lim Guan Eng's case is acquittal. That's why Lim Guan Eng is released without being found guilty. The actual scenario of Lim Guan Eng's case in Penang High Court was as such. The Attorney General requested to make amendment to the charges and asked for a halt to the trial. They need to decide whether to continue the prosecution. However, it was rejected by the judge of Penang High Court. He said that the trial is halfway through. A lot of witnesses already testified and time was being wasted. So now you can't retract the charges. I won't deliver judgment of DNAA if you retract the charges. I will decide on an acquittal instead. So the Attorney General decided to retract the case after due consideration. And the judge decided on a judgment of acquittal to Lim Guan Ang. So Lim Guan Ang was released without being found guilty. Acquittal means this case had no chance for a recharge. Of course, the Attorney General can choose to appeal at that time, but he didn't choose to appeal. There is a time frame for appeal. You need to appeal within 14 days. The Attorney General didn't appeal. So the case was terminated. So the answer is simple. Lim Guan Ang's case will not be able to recharge. Reese's case will have chance for a recharge. It is a short video today. We stop here for now. Today we talked about DNAA, acquittal and guilty. The differences of these three scenarios. Thank you so much for your support. This is our first video of the legal forum. We are going to have more in the future. I hope all of you can continue to support. We will keep our videos within 10 minutes. I don't want to take too much of your time. Let's learn about all these legal knowledge bit by bit. I wish to make a preview of our next topic. We are going to talk about lawyer's letter. We talked about criminal law today. I would like to talk about civil law next. A lot of people are afraid of receiving lawyer's letter. What are the characteristics of lawyer's letter? What do we need to do when receive the lawyer's letter? We will talk about this in our next video. That's all for now. Thanks again for your support.